Hey y'all, it's Anime K-Man. Today I'm going to be reading the 10th episode of Promised Neverland, and my goodness. This episode made me feel extremely emotional when they had, when it was finally got to the part where they mentioned that it was the shipment date of Norman. That honestly made me feel sad. Now that he's gone out of the story, I'm like, fuck. This episode just steamrolled my emotions. I was like... And then when they showed like the flashback of when you see the bond with Emma and Norman when they were younger, how Norman was sick, Emma wanted to talk to him, and then she went as far as making cups when Isabella didn't want Emma to like get the cold sickness, and that was a sweet scene between Emma and Norman showing off their bond. And the previous episodes have done a great job of showing us why Norman loves Emma and all that, but this episode just further re-emphasized, just further strengthened their bond, and it made it feel much more stronger than it already was, at least for me as an audience viewer. So I gotta give credit to the animators for that. And this flashback actually had impact, because most animes, when a character's about to die and they have a flashback and they try to have this sad, dramatic music, like say in anime, like an example, Akemi Kill, when a character dies and then they would have the flashback, and then I wouldn't really give a shit because that character's only there for an episode. I was like, I don't fucking care. This anime is different. It gave us 10 episodes of Norman, and that flashback was just a topping on the cake of feels to make me feel emotional. I fucking loved it. So that scene where Emma like tried to like desperately have Norman to like run away, and she's like saying stuff like she's gonna distract Isabella, and she tries to like give Norman like the device, but then Norman stops Emma. That was a beautiful scene, especially when Emma was crying. It was like, oh my god, man, this episode, it just made me feel every single scene like uncomfortable in like the best possible way. It goes to show you the good writing, because it makes it shows that I care about the characters. Because in some animes, when the character suffers, I'm like, I don't give a shit. The show didn't do a good enough job of making me care, but this anime actually has. So props to that. Especially in the scene where Norman goes with Isabella and they go out of the place that they're at. And I did like, though, how at the very least you get to see Norman kind of affect Isabella emotionally when she's like, "Oh, are you actually happy?" And then Isabella's surprised, and then when Isabella's like, "Oh yeah, I am." That scene right there, I feel like it's good implication of maybe possibly Isabella isn't as happy as she pretends to be, but who knows? Hopefully that means they're gonna flesh out Isabella's characters more, and they'll keep the door open on that, the writing staff. So that's also another cool thing too. A lot of little detail I noticed, and I liked how from a story perspective, it did show that Isabella isn't in a 100% complete cold-hearted bitch. She's only 99.9999% of a cold-hearted fucking bitch. Because I did like how in that scene she did try to like convince Emma to take this offer where Isabella can recommend Emma as like a mom. And I actually did feel like that was coming a few episodes ago, that Isabella was gonna give that offer towards Emma. But it was nice to see that actually did happen. And then I already... Because I was like, yeah, I saw this coming. And then when Emma rejected it, I was like, yeah, I definitely saw that coming too. But it was still nice to see it on screen. And it was still nice to see this, because at the very least shows that there's like at least some kind of warmth to Isabella. Because when Emma rejected the offer, you could hella tell that Isabella was kind of like you could hella tell her expression of like, damn. She didn't say it, but with her expression, she might as well be saying that, damn, she wishes that Emma would have taken the offer. So you could tell that she at least wants someone from the farm to become a mom, so that they're not all slaughtered. So I kind of like that little angle that the writer showed on Isabella. So that was a great amount of characterization for just a few scenes. Honestly, I did love also the character development they gave for Emma too, because after Norman sent away towards his own death, even though the show didn't explicitly show Norman die, So I'm hoping there's like maybe a 1% chance Norman is still alive, hopefully. But then again, I'm assuming that Norman's dead, but who knows? Because they didn't show the body, so maybe there's some hope. But I like how it showed Emma some character development, because you could tell she was reflecting on it, she was sad. And I like how it accumulates at the end, where it's implied that Emma and Ray have actually been pretending to be sad so that they can actually have a plan of escape. Because when Ray tells Emma that you haven't given up, and then you have Emma with like the serious expression, I was like, oh shit. Looks like we got some development from the Emma standpoint, because it looks like she actually might have been planning some shit. So cannot wait to see where that leads. So that's why I thought this episode was great from the character standpoint. It did wonders for Emma's character, gave us a lot of Norman characterization, and it gave Isabella some characterization. And that's why I thought this episode did phenomenally well from the character standpoint and from the story standpoint, because I felt emotional. The scenes were entertaining and captivating. The art and animation were pretty damn fucking good. No complaints there. Voice acting was great, so this episode was good from a sound standpoint. And taking all these factors into consideration, I'm going to rate this episode a 10 out of fucking 10. Honestly, this episode was the best episode of the show by far. And I'm going to eagerly anticipate episode 11. So anyways, guys and gals, these are my thoughts on the episode. Comment down your thoughts in the comment section. Rate the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Subscribe for more. Alright, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.